know, friends, I gotta tell you about this experience I recently had on a keynote stage. Hundreds of people in the audience. They were applauding and happy to see me. I threw my hand up in the air and played this video. And then I asked, where are my haters? Any haters in the room want to see my haters? And of course, nobody raised their hand. Well, it was a loaded question. I wasn't actually expecting people to raise their hand, but it was a little bit awkward since I was the only one that was willing to acknowledge I can be a hater from time to time. And the reason why I can be a hater from time to time is simply because I feel envy from time to time. Now, does that make me a hater or does it make me human? When I first started my professional speaking career, I wanted to be on the keynote stage for this association I had been involved with. And the organizers were really excited. They were advocating for me because they knew I was going to rock the house. But it got to the ultimate decision maker. And the feedback I heard was, oh, he just doesn't think you would be that good. Oh boy, talk about hitting me right in the gut. He didn't realize I had been on stages for many, many years. Oh, I am that good. He just didn't realize it. So I was feeling a way about being rejected. So anyway, I go to this conference because that's where my people are hanging out. I go to this conference and I almost didn't go to hear the speaker they did select because I was in my feelings. I was actually feeling envy because I wasn't selected for that role. And I remember thinking, she just can't be that good. Oh, the same words that the organizer used to describe me. Envy fueled those thoughts right in my brain. So anyway, I go and sit in the audience. Y'all, she was that good. She was magnificent to the point where she really inspired and shaped the way that I wanted to show up on stage. But you see, I was envious because she had everything I had yet to achieve. She had the big stages, she had the followers, she had the books, she had, success. And I had yet to achieve it. And so I felt envy, which caused me to see her as lesser than, when in fact, that just was not the reality. You see, friends, until we start talking about these taboo-like emotions, and how they can control our actions, especially at work. We really are reluctant to discuss these emotions at work, but they pop up at work too. Over my 25 years of leading teams, I've seen envy pop up in people a lot, primarily with lower ranking employees who are really driven to go to that next level. And oftentimes that envy then can show up as a hater on the team. There is a concept in psychology called a state or a trait. And a trait is a characteristic of your personality. It's something that's embedded in how you operate all the time. Whereas a state is really something that's temporary. It's a reaction based on the environmental conditions. For me, when I was sitting in that audience, I was feeling envy because of a temporary state. It is not normally a part of my characteristic. It's not normally a part of my personality, but it happens anyway. So does that make me a hater? No, friends, it makes me a human, just like it does when you experience envy as well, because all humans do. So I want to share with you a 4-step process to help you navigate your emotions and make sure that you are controlling your emotions versus your emotions controlling you. Here's the 4-step process I want to recommend that comes from my book, Help Them Thrive, to help you navigate those pesky emotions. Number 1, feelings are going to happen. They might be good, they might be bad, but they're going to happen. Now, I'm going to grossly oversimplify how emotions work in our body. Highly recommend the book, Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown, if you want to go deeper. But essentially, our bodies have a physical reaction to an environmental condition. Like we feel butterflies in the stomach, we get goosebumps, we have tense muscles, and then our bodies and brains try to make sense of the reaction. Your body might say something like, hey, brain, what am I feeling right now? And then once the brain assesses the experience, it labels the emotion. You're feeling happiness. Are you feeling anguish, fear, vulnerability, or envy? It's a much more complex process, friends, but remember, it's just grossly oversimplified, so just hang in there with me. But that's essentially how our emotions work. Those feelings happen. You can't control them. They just happen. They could be good. They could be bad. But in this step one, what I want to recommend to you is this. Ask yourself, I'm feeling a way about this. What is it precisely? Label the emotion correctly. I'm feeling X emotion. I'm feeling envy, or I'm feeling joy, or I'm feeling afraid or vulnerable. But be intentional and mindful about labeling the emotion correctly. When you experience one of those more negative or taboo emotions like envy, that's your trigger. Boom. That should then prompt you to choose supportive action for the person that you are feeling envy toward, and ask the question, okay, I'm feeling envious. That's my cue. How can I help them thrive? That's the question. And choose actions, even though you may be still feeling envy, choose actions that will help that other person thrive. And then last but not least, on a regular basis, reflect. Reflect over your day, reflect over your week. Which emotions showed up today? Did I correctly label them? And for the negative ones, did I choose supportive actions? You could ask something like, I demonstrated my interest in her success, or I didn't demonstrate my interest in her success because I was envious. That speaker that I told you about, that was so absolutely magnificent, that initially sparked envy within me. I am intentional about advocating for her every chance that I get, because that trigger doesn't now lead me to a negative action. It now leads me to some more supportive action. So don't let envy control you, control your envy. But first, you got to admit that it happens. And when it does, don't label yourself a hater, label yourself a human. Take care, my friend. See you next time.